Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. And now, Viking pregame.
Good evening, and welcome to the NLWN-TV studios. I'm Rick Olson, and we're getting ready to bring you Colfax High School Viking Girls Basketball. Tonight, the 15-7 Colfax Vikings, who are 10-3 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference, are getting ready to step out of conference play and take on the Fall Creek Crickets in a non-conference contest. The Crickets are currently 19-3 overall and sitting atop of the West Clover Belt Conference with a 13-1 record. The Vikings are coming off a 67-11 victory over the Glenwood City Hilltoppers last Friday night, while the Crickets are coming off a 66-32 win over the Cadott Hornets also on Friday. Coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Crickets and the Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Serrar's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, even though this is a non-conference game, we'll take a look around the Dunn St. Croix Conference to see where things stand as the conference heads into its final games. Then we'll send it out to Fall Creek High School, where our broadcast crew will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school girls basketball. All that coming up after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Today, the Vikings would like to continue to gear up for the upcoming WIAA playoffs as they take on the first-place team in the West Clover Belt Conference, the 19-3 Fall Creek Crickets. The Crickets are currently tied with the McDonald Central Max for the top spot in their conference. Now, tonight, the Crickets are trying to build upon their 66-32 win over the Cadott Hornets on Friday. Now, coming into tonight's game, well, we haven't been able to get much information on the Crickets, but from the limited information that we could find, it appears as though one of the Crickets' main scoring threats is senior Campbell Sell. She is aided by junior Addie Haynes, along with Jasmine Hewer, Sophie Schmigdahl, and Kennedy Tum. Now, so far this season, leading the way for the Vikings in scoring is McKenna Shipman, who's averaging nearly 14 points per game. She's being followed in scoring by Kaysen Goodell, who's accounting for over 8 points per game, along with Jeanette Hajdukovic, who's putting in almost 7 per game. On the boards, the Vikings are being led by Shipman and Hajdukovic with around 5.5 rebounds per game each. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get Viking head coach Courtney Serrar's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Adding your own flavor to fashion comes with age.
Okay, Dad, look at you.
Yeah, welcome. Hi.
Forgetting how to add doesn't. Finding it difficult to work with numbers may be a sign of Alzheimer's.
Dad, are you okay?
An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's. Some things come with age, some others don't.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Once again, we're talking with Viking girls head coach Courtney Serrar on Coach's Corner. And Coach, before we get into tonight's game, let's take a quick look back at Friday, where the girls defeated the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 67-11. Your thoughts about that game?
Yeah, you know, a lot of people contributed to the scoring column, which was good to see. I thought we really transitioned well. You know, we had a lot of people running the floor, and guards and wings definitely had their heads up and rewarded those girls for running the floor. Lots of, you know, layups and easy looks. And, you know, we've done a great job doing that as of late. And I like it because then we don't have to worry about, you know, running an offense or doing like that. So letting our defense create our offense has become one of our strong suits, I think. So I'm hoping we can continue to work on that and use that, in our next few games.
Well, in fact, that was what I was just going to get into, that from what we could see, in reality, in spite of the score, Glenwood City played pretty tough in the paint and really challenged the Vikings on most of the set plays. They were pretty strong on the boards, and even when the Vikings got a rebound, the players were sometimes as much as quadruple teamed, and so they made it tough on the Vikings. But as you were talking, the defense of the Vikings and the transition game and getting a hand in the way of a pass, and all of a sudden down the floor they went and lay it up and in. That was where the Vikings made all their money in that game. Can you expound on that a little bit more?
Yeah, I challenged them to make sure, that we weren't, out of position defensively or anything like that. But, if you can jump a passing lane and get a steal and go, then, good things tend to happen. And they really showed that. They have
the opportunity to test those skills in preparation for the WI.
I think it should be a fun matchup.
I agree with you. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. This is kind of a tournament preview of the quality of play that you see in the tournaments. At least I'm hoping it is, because it has all the ingredients to make it one of those. Now, after tonight's game, the Vikings are going to have only one remaining game on their regular season schedule. Now, I know we asked Coach Kittleson a very similar question back on Friday, but what are some things you'd like to see the Vikings push up to be best prepared as possible going into the playoffs?
I think at this point, we've just been working and trying to just get a little bit better each day. I think, something that as a group, in order to win games in the postseason, you have to have a positive assist to turnover ratio, and you have to win the rebounding battle. So those are the two, most important things that we've been focusing on. And, quite a few things go into that. Obviously, you have to not turn it over, but in order, to get those assists, people have to be making shots. So there's, multiple things that go into that. And rebounding has also been, always been, really important in our defensive scheme, holding a group to one tough shot and then making sure you secure the rebound. So those are the two things that, we're focusing on and trying to improve upon. And then, a few other little things here and there. But
in fact, one of the things that would lead to this is something we've seen some improvement on by the Vikings in the last couple of weeks. And that's very active feet and playing with their feet. And that keeps them in position and so on. Any thoughts that you have about that?
Yeah, I'm definitely, in favor of being in the right spot. I always, encourage them to play defense with their feet, help early, be quick to recover. All of those things go into excellent team defense. So I feel it was one of our strong suits this season, but there's always room for improvement. So,
well, Coach Zerard, good luck on tonight's game, and hopefully the Vikings can face this test and continue on the winning track.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, with a look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
We all know
the Dunn St. Croix play as the conference season is winding down. In Dunn St. Croix conference action last Friday, the Elk Mound Mounders defeated the Elmwood Plum City Wolves 65-15, while the Colfax Vikings topped the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 67-11. The Durand, Arkansas Panthers defeated the Spring Valley Cardinals 61-22, and the Boyceville Bulldogs visited the Mondovi Buffaloes, with the Buffaloes coming out on top 65-38. Now that leaves the Dunn St. Croix Conference standings as follows. In first place are the unbeaten at 12-0 Elk Mound Mounders. In a tie for second place at 2.5 games back at 10-3 are the Colfax Vikings and the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. In fourth place are the Mondovi Buffaloes at 8-5 and 4.5 games back, with the Spring Valley Cardinals holding down fifth place at 5-8 and 7.5 games back, while sixth place belongs to the 3-9 Glenwood City Hilltoppers. The 3-10 Boyceville Bulldogs are in 7th, and the Elmwood Plum City Wolves occupy 8th place. Tonight, the Dunn St. Croix Conference sees only one conference contest, with the Elk Mound Mounders traveling to Glenwood City to face the Hilltoppers. In addition, 4 Dunn St. Croix Conference teams are stepping out of conference play for some non-conference action. That includes the Vikings taking on the Fall Creek Crickets in Fall Creek, while the Durand, Arkansas Panthers visit Arcadia to face the Raiders, and the Boyceville Bulldogs travel to Alma Pepin to take on the Eagles. Meanwhile, the Elmwood Plum City Wolves will host the Blair Taylor Wildcats. Now tonight, the Vikings are trying to build some momentum leading to the WIAA playoffs against a team which also appears to be a contender to make a deep run into the playoffs. Now this is a good opportunity for the Vikings to test their skills against a playoff caliber team. These two teams met back 1 year ago tomorrow, with the Vikings coming out on top 47-39. But that was last season, and this year's teams have to play tonight's game. Now, coming into this game, the Vikings are averaging 55 points per game on the season, while giving up only 30. Now, on the other hand, the Crickets are scoring 58 while allowing 36. So with that said, we'll have all the action of tonight's non-conference battle between the Fall Creek Crickets and the Colfax Vikings right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Now, in just a moment, I'll join our broadcast crew at Fall Creek High School as we bring you today's game between the Vikings and the Crickets. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jana passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
To learn more or to help financially, would find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
Colfax Viking Girls Basketball is on the air.
To the right side, they feed it down underneath to Hajdukovic, who lays it up and in. Jeanette Hajdukovic with 2.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network, along with NLWN-TV, is excited to bring you Colfax High School Girls Basketball.
No good on the shot. Rebound taken away by Shipman and puts the shot up and in.
Join us as we follow the Vikings while they battle their way through the Dunn St. Croix Conference.
To Nigaman, she launches a 3. She hit the 3!
And now out to the gym for today's Colfax Viking basketball.
And good evening. Welcome to Fall Creek High School. I'm Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow. Ann Monroe is on the camera tonight, and the band is being loud over in the end of the gym, as they ought to be at a high school game. And we're getting ready to bring you tonight's game between the Colfax Vikings and the Fall Creek Crickets. Vikings currently in a tie for second place in the Dunn St. Croix Conference, and the Crickets are currently in a tie for first place in the West Clover Belt Conference. Vikings come into this game with an overall record of 14-7, and the Crickets have a record of 19-3. Well, Dan, this ought to be an interesting game because we have some changes tonight. So why don't you go through the starting lineups for us?
Yeah, here's the starter for the Crickets. They're going to go with number 4, Adele Kaufman. Number 14, Elena Rothsberger. Number 22, Emily Sorensen. Number 24, Caroline Grossinger. And 30, Avery Barca. For the Colfax Vikings, their lineup's a little different tonight. They're going to go with number 4, Kason Goodell. Number 20, Meadow Keldner. Number 24, Jordan Bovey. Number 34, Bryn Sikora. And number 42, McKenna Shipman.
So that means tonight the Vikings are starting 2 seniors, a junior, and 2 sophomores. A very young lineup for the Vikings tonight as they take on the Fall Creek Crickets. Jeanette Hajdukovic is not here tonight, and I don't know why, and they didn't explain that to us, but leave it to say she's not here, which forced a little bit of a change in the lineup, and it caused Coach Serrar to make a couple of changes, and she's going with a smaller, faster shooting lineup in tonight's game.
Yeah, Colfax is going to be small to start out, and so they're going to have to make sure they kind of double team down low to make sure there's no easy twos, which could be a problem. But also, Fall Creek can shoot the 3, so they're going to have to get back. They're going to have to suck down, play a little defense in the paint, and then get out and get those 3s taken care of. But they also have small, good shooters, Colfax does tonight, so they're going to probably match up on the outside.
Yeah, ball handling and quick ball movement is going to be important for Colfax tonight, and ball security is going to be a big thing. And so we're going to see how that works out for the Vikings tonight.
Yeah, they're going to definitely have to keep their turnovers really low and control that clock and balls.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've got a few minutes before the start of tonight's game, so we're going to take this time out as you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Give yourself a little love this Valentine's Day. Open a health savings account or HSA to save tax-free dollars for out-of-pocket medical costs. Eyeglasses, braces, and acupuncture are just a few items allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. Pay by check or with a debit card and access your account through online or mobile banking. Give us a call to learn more. Dairy State Bank. Banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Austin and Nikki Pritchard are just what the doctor ordered. In fact, they are the doctors and they're ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
Back here at Fall Creek High School, and we're getting ready for tonight's game. You know, the Vikings are coming off a really big win over the Glenwood City Hilltoppers, 67-11, and they're going to need a defensive and transition effort, very similar to what they had against the Hilltoppers. But the problem is the Fall Creek Crickets are not the Glenwood City Hilltoppers, and the Crickets are a really strong team. Only been beaten 3 times this year, and it's going to be a tough matchup for the Vikings tonight.
Yeah, I think if Colfax can get out and run, get out and transition, you know, watching the JV game, I would guess varsity's going to be kind of the same. They're going to want to get out and run, and Colfax can run, and they definitely can match up with that. So I think it should be a good matchup on the outside, and the inside will be a different story.
Well, they're playing the school songs, and we're going to send it down to the pep band for just that.
Ladies and gentlemen, your national anthem, sung tonight by Vivian and Swell Cook.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome to Vulcan Headquarters this evening's non-conference World Basketball game. The 9th all-time game of the Colfax Vikings and the Vulcan Heads. Starting off for Colfax, a junior number 4, Kason Goodell. A senior number 20, Mel Kellner. A sophomore number 24, Jordan Moody. A sophomore number 34, Greg Sikora. And a senior number 32, Matt Shipman. A coach of the Vikings, is working so hard. We're all drinking seed tonight, and we turn it over to the parents for the introductions of our seniors.
At the guard, our daughter, and a 5'8" senior, number 4, ABL Cochran.
senior, our daughter, number 14, Elena Roethlisberger.
At the guard, our daughter, 5'7", high ponytail, Julia Roberts Smile, daughter, senior, number 22.
In the middle, 4'11" senior, Caroline Rosen.
Yeah.
The powerhouse on the court since 3rd grade. At guard, our daughter, senior, number 30, Avery Barca.
Very nice recognition of the seniors for the Fall Creek Crickets. And Dan, it's not very often that the seniors, that the manager gets introduced.
Yeah. Did I miss it? Did they do the Colfax?
Yeah, they did Colfax.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 seniors, a junior, and 2 sophomores. Shipman jumping center for the Vikings, and jumping center is Grossinger for the Crickets. Now that they have the sides figured out which side they're going to be jumping on. Official steps into the circle, the ball goes up, and the tip controlled by the Vikings. Goodell has it as the Vikings are moving from right to left. Over to Keltner. Out to the top of the key. To Sikora. Down underneath to Shipman, who puts it up and in. Vikings draw first blood.
Yeah, so that answers my question. They're going to use McKenna Shipman in place of Jeanette Hajdukovic tonight.
With the underneath
right
portion of the game. That's correct. Out at the top of the key is Grossinger. Gets it over to the far side. That's Sorensen, and now they get it back over to the right side. That's Barca. Back out to the top to Roethlisberger. Then over to Kaufman. Kaufman at the top of the key feeds it over to the right side. That's Sorensen. Sorensen back out high to Grossinger, and then over to the left side to Kaufman. Kaufman over to the right side to Sorensen. Sorensen with it, takes it to the top of the key. Ball gets taken away by Shipman, loose on the floor, and we're going to get a jump ball called as the ball finally got tied up by Keltner. Keltner and Sorensen both got their hands on it, and the possession arrow favors the Crickets. Ball gets inbounded to Sorensen. She brings it out high on the left side. Now over to the top of the key to Kaufman. To the right side to Barca. Barca tries to feed it in the lane, knocked away by the Vikings. Down the floor comes Bovey. She lays it up, it's no good. Rebound put back up and in. Sikora with the putback shot. 4-0, Vikings on top. Ball gets fed over to the left side, and now back out to the top of the key, down into the lane to Bovey, and she puts it up and in. Some of the Viking fans thought there should be a travel. 4-2, Vikings on top. Goodell with it, feeds it over to the left side to Bovey. Bovey out to the top of the key, gets it over to Sikora. Then back to Goodell. Comes into the lane, puts it up, it's hard off the glass, no good. Sikora tries to put a shot up. It gets knocked away, and down the floor come the Crickets. Knocked loose, picked up by Raffensperger. Goodell with it, motioning Bovey to move underneath. Goodell takes it over to the right side, down to the baseline, puts it up, no good. Rebound taken down by Grossinger. Crickets have it over on the left side. It's Kaufman with it. Gets it out high to Barca. Barca back over to Kaufman. Ball gets tipped away by Goodell. She takes it down the floor. Solo flight. It doesn't go in. Rebound taken down by the Crickets. Gets fed down the floor quickly. Comes over to the near side. That's Barca. Barca with it, high, wide, and right. Now over to Raffensperger, and then down to Sorensen on the left side. She brings it back out high. Gets it over to Kaufman between the circles. Kaufman tried to feed it over to Grossinger, and we're going to get 5 in, 5 out for the Crickets.
Yeah, taking a little play out of the Colfax playbook there. 5 in, 5 out.
I think that was senior starting unit is what it was.
Oh, okay.
Goodell with the ball for the Vikings. Feeds it over to the right side to Bovey. Out high to Shipman, three-pointer on the way. Oh, off the front of the iron. I thought that was destined to go in, but it didn't. Keltner with the rebound, gets it out to Goodell, to Bovey between the circles. Takes it over to the right side. Ball's taken away. Tipped, but recovered by Let's get the right team here. Doherty. Whole new lineup. Martin with it on the left side. Hits it out high to Sell. And then over to Tum. Back into Doherty. Back out to Tum. Tum at the top of the key. Gets it over to Martin. Martin back out to Tum. Tum feeds it over, and they feed it into the lane. It's Gracie Martin with the layup, and we're tied at 4. Goodell brings the ball down the floor. Bovey with it on the left side to Shipman. Shipman takes it towards the lane, feeds it to Sikora, lays it up. It's a little hard off the back of the iron, and we get a whistle and a foul. Going to be on Shipman. First foul on anybody in the game.
Foul on McKenna Shipman.
J.C. Bovey into the lineup along with Autumn Nigaman and Sierra Shipman as the Crickets bring it down the floor. They feed it over to Martin and then over to the near side. That's Tum. Then down into the lane, back out to Tum. Over to Martin. Martin drives into the lane. She lays it up. It goes in. Fall Creek 8, Vikings 4. Vikings bringing the ball down. Sierra Shipman on the dribble. Takes it to the top of the key. Feeds it into the lane to Nigaman. Lays it. She put it in and draws the foul. Autumn Nigaman with the 2. She cut through the lane and got the pass. The foul is on Hoyer, and the free throw is up and good. Down the floor come the Crickets. They feed it out to the top of the key over to the left side. This is Tum with it. Gets it back out. That's Doherty. Back over to Tum on the left. Back out high now to Martin. Back over to Tum. Tum dribbles it out between the circles. Feeds it over to Doherty down underneath, and the shot is no good. Rebound taken down by Nigaman. She gets it over to Bovey to Shipman to Shipman. This is Sierra. Feeds it into the lane. And ball gets tapped around, and it's going to be Viking ball. Last touch by the Crickets. Bovey to inbound. This is J.C. Bovey. Gets it into Sierra Shipman. Over to Sikora. Sikora tries to feed it down underneath to McKenna Shipman. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Crickets ball. Hoyer to inbound. Gets it into Kennedy Tum. She brings it up across the timeline. Over to Doherty. Out high and then over to the far side to Tum. Three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound chased down by Sikora. Sikora on the dribble, brings it across the timeline. Sikora over to McKenna Shipman, over to J.C. Bovey, to Nigaman. Nigaman down the right side of the lane, feeds it back out to Shipman, and trying to put the shot up and going to the floor instead was Sierra Shipman, and no whistle. Pass comes out high to Hoyer. Hoyer puts the shot up, and it's good. 10-7, Crickets on top. J.C. Bovey on the dribble. Feeding it over to Nigaman, puts up the shot, no good. Rebound taken down by Hoyer. Feeding it down underneath. Shot goes up and good by Gracie Martin. 12-7, Crickets by 5. J.C. Bovey on the dribble between the circles. Feeding it over to the right side to Sierra Shipman. Takes it down to the baseline. Back out to J.C. She's high, wide, and right. Over to Sikora. High, wide, and left. Takes it down the left side. Feeding it to the outside to Sierra Shipman. Free throw line extended to the left. Goes towards the baseline. Reverses her traffic. Now feeds it to McKenna Shipman, and the ball gets tipped and goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Vikings. Jason Goodell into the lineup for the Vikings, replacing J.C. Bovey. Tum on the dribble. Feeds it over to the far side to Martin. Martin out high. That's to Sell. Back over to Martin. Martin out to Tum between the circles. Then it's over to Doherty on the left side. Back over to Hoyer. Drives into the lane. Puts a shot up. And we're going to get a blocking foul called on the Vikings. Fouls on Shipman. That's her second team foul on the Vikings. First shot is up and good by Jasmine Hoyer. Coach Serrar not agreeing with that call and questioning the official about it.
Yeah, there was 3 girls down there that could have got the foul in.
Hoyer's second shot is up. It's good. Goodell on the dribble. Across the timeline. And the shot goes up and we get a foul called. The foul is going to be on Anna Doherty. And going to the line for 3 shots is Meadow Keltner. She launched a 3-pointer. First one is up. It's good. Two shots remaining. Subs are waiting to come in, but they come in between the second and third when you're shooting 3. Second shot is up and good. 14-9. Meadow Keltner at the line for one more. And the shot rims around and off. Down the floor come the Crickets. This is Tum on the dribble across the timeline. Out in the center circle, feeds it over to the left side. That's to Raffensperger. Or check that, that's not Raffensperger. But they get it over to the right side, down underneath the Hoyer shot is up, no good. Rebound taken out of there by Jordan Bovey. Bovey over to Sierra Shipman, wide open for a three. She hit the three! Sierra Shipman with the three. 14-12, Vikings down by 2. Over on the far side, that's Addie Haynes, and they get it over to the near side to Tum. Then out between the circles to Hoyer, back to Tum. Then she tried to feed it over to Schmidgall. Anyway, I'll get the name right before the night's over. Timeout on the floor. Vikings trailing by 2, 14-12 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
On your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley.
Back here at Fall Creek High School, Rick Olson along with Ann Monroe on the camera. Dan Petchow giving us all of his wisdom right next to me. Fall Creek Crickets on top, 14-12. Vikings have the ball. Kaysen Goodell on the dribble. Comes up across the timeline. Takes it over to the right side. Gets it to Bovey, turnaround jumper from in the lane. She put it off the glass and in. We're tied at 14. Down the floor come the Crickets. Stirs has it. She gets it over to Tom, and we're going to get an offensive foul. She gave a little elbow shove to Goodell as she tried to turn the corner and committed the offensive foul. That's the first foul on Tom. And that is the third foul on the Crickets. Goodell on the dribble. Between the circles, takes it over to the left side. Dishes it off to Sierra Shipman. Over to Jordan Bovey. Over to Shipman on the right side in the corner. Gets it out to Bovey at the free throw line. Puts a shot up. And she hit it! Vikings taking a 16-14 lead. Tum with the ball, feeds it over to the left side. That's over to Haynes, who gets it back down underneath. Shot goes up, no good. Putback shot is up and in by Schmidgall. Schmidgall. I will get it right, I promise. Taking it down to the left side as Goodell gets it out to Sierra Shipman. Takes it over to the right side. Still has it, tries to feed it in the lane into a lot of traffic. Schmidgall gets away with it and feeds it off to Stirs. Stirs across the timeline over to the right side to Tum. Tum gets it back out to Hoyer. Hoyer over to the left side, now back out to Hoyer. Hoyer gives it to Haynes. Haynes out to Schmidgall. To Hoyer, three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound taken away by Jordan Bovey. Bovey brings it down the floor. 6:26 to go in the first half. Sikora with the ball at the free throw line, and they're going to get her for a travel. I'm not sure her foot came off the ground. Her whole body looked like it was going to. I thought she kept the toe down. But
yeah, there was kind of like a stutter upward motion.
I think she fooled the officials on it. But they're human. Doherty with it. Gets it over to the right side. That's Haynes. Now they get it back to the left, back out to the right to Schmidgall. To Haynes. Haynes with it down into the right corner to Schmidgall out on the right wing. Left wing. Takes it into the lane. Now feeds it out to Stirs. Stirs drives into the lane, puts the shot up, no good. Rebound taken down, put back is up and goes in by Schmidgall. 18-16, Crickets on top. Goodell with it, feeds it into the lane to Keltner, back out to Shipman, three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound coming away with it is Haynes. Brings it across the timeline for the Crickets. Gets it over to Doherty and then over to Stirs. Stirs feeds it over to the right side, but the Vikings come away with it. Goodell has the ball quickly down the floor. Goodell takes it down into the right lane. Got her pocket picked, and we're going to get a foul called on Goodell. Reaching back in after the ball got taken away from her. Nigaman into the game for Keltner. Schmidgall takes a seat. I think Martin came in for her. Crickets with it between the circles. That Stirs, then over to the left side, back out to the top of the key, and then over to the left side. Three-pointer on the way, no good. That three-pointer was by Haynes. And Goodell comes away with the ball for the Vikings. Lost the handle on it, went back and picked it up. Top of the key, feeds it over to the right side to Sikora. Sikora looking for somewhere to go, gets it out to Bovey. Bovey on the right side, she's high, wide, and right. Feeds it down into the corner, ball gets knocked out of bounds. It'll be Vikings ball. It was knocked out of bounds by Doherty.
Got tight defense by the Crickets right now. Colfax has to find a way to get inside.
And the Crickets are playing between the player and the ball, and so they're playing deny. Long pass out to Sikora, to Goodell. Goodell on the dribble between the circles, takes it down the left side of the lane, puts it up, it doesn't go. She couldn't get it to fall. Down the floor come the Crickets. Taking it all the way to the hole, put it in by Anna Doherty and got fouled by Goodell. J.C. Bovey going to check in for Goodell. 4:07 remaining, Crickets on top, 20-16. Anna Doherty at the line for the +1. Shots up and it's good. And we have a timeout being called by the Vikings with a timeout on the floor. Crickets 21, Vikings 16 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
C&K Construction is your source for high-quality concrete and construction work in the Chippewa Valley. Established in 2014, C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls is a leading concrete contractor proud to serve Eau Claire, Altoona, Menominee, and surrounding areas. Specializing in concrete construction, excavating, flatwork poured walls, and much more, they're right for all of your concrete needs. Call C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls at 715-559-1335.
We're back here at Fall Creek High School, where the Vikings are trailing the Crickets by 5, 21-16, 4:07 remaining in the first half. Vikings will have the ball. Sikora passed it in to Jordan Bovey, who brings it across the timeline. Takes down the left side of the lane, gets it out to Bovey, or to Shipman, sorry about that. Bovey has it at the elbow. Feeds it down underneath to Bovey, trying to drive the left baseline, got fouled going in. Foul is going to be called on Kennedy Tum. That's her second, fourth team foul on the Crickets. Jordan Bovey at the line for two. First shot is up, it's good. Into the lineup is Addie Haynes for Kennedy Tum. Second shot on the way, that one's off the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by the Crickets and down the floor quickly. They get it out to the top of the key, over to the right side. Haynes feeds it over to the left side now to Martin. She has it on the left wing, takes it into the lane, feeds it to Hoyer underneath, puts it up and puts it in. 23-17. 6-point lead for the Crickets. Nigaman with it on the left side, gets it over to Bovey. Back out to J.C. Bovey. She backs out between the circles. To Nigaman, high, wide, and right. Takes it to the free throw line, loses the handle on it, feeds it off to Sierra Shipman. Out to Jordan Bovey, to J.C. J.C.'s high, wide, and right. At the top of the key. Over to Nigaman, launches a three, in and out, no good. Hoyer with it down the floor for the Crickets, takes it down the lane, feeds it out to the right side, 2-point shot is up and good. That was by Gracie Martin. 25-17, 8-point lead for the Crickets. Vikings with the ball, feeding it over to the right side to Jordan Bovey. Bovey on the move, gets it over to Sikora, high, wide, and right. Takes it to the free throw line, spins into the lane, feeds it underneath to Sierra Shipman, overlays it, no good, and the Crickets come away with it. Down the floor, they get it to Hoyer on the left side, brings it down the floor, and we're going to get a foul called on Jordan Bovey. Couple of subs in for the Vikings. That's the first foul on Bovey, 5th foul on the Vikings. Crickets to inbound. Hoyer gets it into Sell. Then over to Doherty and knocked out of bounds by the Vikings. It'll still be Crickets' ball. Haynes to inbound. Long pass out high. They get it over to Hoyer. She's high, wide, and left. Then over to Doherty. Out to the top of the key. Back over to Hoyer on the right side. Takes it to the free throw line. Turns around. Gets it out to Sell. Now out to Hoyer. And then to Doherty, puts it to the floor and then passes it out to Haynes, and then they get it over to the left side. Hoyer on the dribble, takes it into the lane, puts it up, no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Keltner with it. Gets it to McKenna Shipman. Shipman brings it down the floor, spins, puts a shot up, and it goes in. (25-19). Vikings trailing. Crickets have it over on the right side, driving the baseline, putting the shot up. It's no good. Putback shot is no good, and she gets her own and puts it back up and in. That's Campbell Sell with the second putback. It's where they missed Jeanette Hajdukovic on some of those. Long three-pointer, no good by Sikora, and coming away with it is Hoyer. Hoyer brings it down the floor, feeds it over to the right side. That's Doherty. Then back out to the top of the key to Haynes.
They're going to
takes
play
it
for
over
one.
to the left side.
Probably try to get it into 44.
Which they've just done. She takes it into the lane, kicks it back out, now down into the corner. Doherty. Long three-pointer goes up, it's no good, and we have reached halftime. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, our Viking profile will be Meadow Keltner, and we'll have that coming up in just a moment on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Time now for Viking halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're talking with Meadow Keltner, who's a senior here at Colfax High School. And Meadow, we know that you play basketball, but are you involved in any other activities here at school?
I am in volleyball as well.
And how'd that go for you?
It was good.
Okay. So when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has it been for you?
I started playing basketball when I was in second grade, and then since then it's been such a great experience, and I've met many new people and created a separate family of my own.
That's awesome. So what's the most important thing that you've learned playing basketball?
No matter how you're doing, you always should keep a good attitude and keep it just so you can keep the team in a good attitude as well.
Yeah, because if something doesn't go right, if you let it get to you, it's just going to fester and make matters worse.
Yep.
So it's all about the attitude. So when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some other things that interest you or keep you occupied?
I work a lot. I have 3 jobs right now, so it keeps me busy. But I spend some time outside. I like with my animals a lot. So.
Okay. All right. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Pie.
Which kind?
Apple.
All right. With ice cream or no?
Sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Hot dog, burger, or brats?
Brats.
What do you want on that brat?
Nothing.
Nothing, just a plain brat.
Yep.
All right. That's kind of the way I like them too.
Yeah.
Your favorite color?
Blue.
Is there a reason for that?
It's just a calming color.
All right. All right. Yeah, I'll buy that. Now, if you could have a superpower, what do you think that might be and why?
Super strength.
Super strength. Okay. All right. So if you have the superpower of super strength, you have to have a superhero name to go with it. So what's Meadow's superhero name?
Super Meadow.
Super Meadow. Okay. All right. Favorite NBA or WNBA team?
The Bucks.
All right. How about a collegiate team?
Don't really have a favorite.
All right. All right. Is there a basketball player in the past that has kind of influenced the way you play your game?
My dad. He played here at Colfax, and he just kind of started me with it and just kept me going and kept me motivated.
He schooled you?
He did.
Okay. We're talking with Meadow Keltner on Viking Profile. And Meadow, what are your plans for after high school?
I am going to college and doing pre-med, and then hopefully getting into med school and becoming a pediatrician.
Outstanding. How about a shout out to the family?
Thank you guys for all your support and love.
All right, when people watch Viking games, what number do you wear, and where are we going to find you on the floor?
I'm number 20, and you'll probably see me shooting a lot of threes on the court.
Okay. All right, we want to thank Meadow Keltner for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. Basically, he had to relearn everything. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey.
tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Attacks against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are on the rise.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer. In terms of the hate crimes, I think there is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
And we're back here at Fall Creek High School. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow and Monroe on the camera. And the Vikings are trailing the Fall Creek Crickets by a score of 27-19. Crickets opened up a little bit of a lead there at the end of the half, but basically the Vikings have hung with them for the most part. Dan, why don't you give us some numbers on the first half of this game?
Here's the score for the Crickets right now. Gracie Martin has 8. Elena Rasberger has 2. If I can read my own writing. Caroline Grossberger has 2. Campbell Sell has 2. Jasmine Hoyer has 6. Schmidt-Gall has 4. And Doherty has 3. For the Colfax Vikings, Meadow Keltner has 2. Autumn Nigaman has 3. Jordan Bovey has 5. Sierra Shipman has 3. Bryn Sikora has 2, and McKenna Shipman has 4. 27-19, the Crickets.
Part of what's kept the Vikings down a little bit in the first half is McKenna Shipman got into a little bit of foul trouble early, and so she spent a fair amount of time on the bench. One of the things I just noticed, and I think we were so busy in the first half, that Jada Anderson is also not in tonight's game, so they're missing 2 starters tonight.
Yeah, that's your inside help. And right now, what is her number? Number 44, Jasmine Hoyer's just kind of having her way in the paint. Colfax has to figure out how to take care of that.
So heading out on the floor for the Vikings to start the second half, McKenna Shipman, Meadow Keltner, Jordan Bovey, Bryn Sikora, and Kason Goodell. Going out for the Crickets, who Vikings will have the ball to start the second half. For the Crickets, we have Raffsberger and Tum. Also out there is Hoyer and Doherty and Sell. Goodell feeds it over to Keltner, puts up a 3 from the top of the key, and it's going to be Viking ball. The ball was partially tipped. That's why it came up so short. So the Vikings to inbound from under the basket. Pass comes in, shot goes up, and it goes in by McKenna Shipman. 27-19. Or 27-21. Scoreboard's a little slow here. Hoyer with the ball out between the circles. Takes it over to the right side, drives down to the baseline. Loses the handle on it, but picks it back up. Gets it back out to the right wing, out high, wide, and right. Now they come over to the left side with it. They get it over to Doherty. Doherty feeds it to Hoyer. Hoyer cross-court pass over to Doherty on the right side. Gets it out to Tum. Then to Hoyer between the circles. Down to the left corner. Taking it in is Martin. Martin back out to Hoyer. Then down underneath the cell. She takes it down to the baseline. Her shot is no good. Shipman quickly down the floor. Feeds it out to the right wing to Sikora. Down underneath to Goodell. Can't find the handle, but she got it. Out to Bovey. Three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound right into the arms of the Crickets. Tum with the ball over on the left side. Tries to go down the baseline, and she laid it in. She ran over Kason Goodell to do it. Goodell has it now, takes it down the floor, lays it up and in. She found a wide open path, and Goodell scores. Tum with it on the right side. She feeds it back out high. That's to Martin, and then they get in the lane to Hoyer. Her shot's no good. Crickets get the rebound, try to get it out to Hoyer, but it goes right through her hands and out of bounds. So Vikings to inbound. Shipman into Goodell. Up across the timeline. Feeds it into the lane to Keltner. Tries to lay it up, no good. Rebound taken down by Shipman. Her shot's no good. And the Crickets come away with it. Tum with it. Across the timeline on the left side. Takes it into the lane. They're gonna call a blocking foul. Coach Serrar can't believe it. It's a blocking foul on Goodell. That's her third.
The only thing I could think of that play was Kaysen was trying to get set, and she wasn't totally set. So they're going to call it a block.
Ball comes out high, wide, and right. Now over to the left side. Tum has it on the left wing. Gets it out to the top of the key to Doherty. And then over to, that was Doherty with the three-pointer. Bovey with it on the right side. Feeds it over to Sikora. Takes it down the baseline. Puts a shot up. It's off the iron. No good. Crickets come away with it. 32-23. Crickets have the ball. Taking it in is Hoyer, and she lays it up and in. 34-23. Crickets by 11. Down the floor comes Goodell. Top of the key. Feeds it over to the right side. Ball got tipped. It's out of bounds. It didn't get tipped. It goes to the Crickets.
Yeah, you can see Falkirk starting to get out in transition on offense, picking up some quick points.
So Tum has the ball, and she brings it up the floor. Over on the left side to Martin, who fed it into the lane. That was to Campbell Sell, and it went in. Bovey with it for the Vikings on the right side. Gets it down into the right corner to Shipman. Shipman into the lane to Sikora, and the ball's out of bounds. It was last touched by the Crickets. So the Vikings will have it right in front of their own bench. Sierra Shipman to inbound it, looking for somewhere to go. Gets it in to McKenna. McKenna puts the shot up, no good. Rebound taken down by the Crickets. That was Martin on the rebound.
Oh, somebody forgot her.
Then down underneath, and laying it up and in was Anna Doherty. And you're right, Dan. Somebody lost her in the transition. And Shipman committed the foul. That was Sierra Shipman committed the foul.
Yeah, Colfax has to make sure they get back on defense.
And we're going to get a timeout on the floor called by the Vikings. Vikings trail 38-23, 14-11 remaining, and you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
Yeah, Dan, you made a comment while we were away for that ad that for the most part in the Dunn St. Croix, teams are playing a half-court offense, and here they like to get out and run.
Yeah, if you're going to play with them, you got to get back.
Free throw is up, no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. McKenna Shipman feeds it cross court over to Jordan Bovey at the top of the key. Jordan feeds it over to the left side, down into the corner to Bryn Sikora. Shots up, no good. Rebound taken down by the Crickets. Crickets are also owning the boards. Martin has it, feeds it to Hoyer, and then outside the three-pointer goes up no good by Doherty.
And
We got a
the
foul.
Vikings are going to get it. We have a foul being called on Hoyer. That's her second. First team foul on the Crickets this half. Shipman inbounds the ball to Shipman. Sierra on the dribble. Sierra between the circles, picks up her dribble, feeds it over to McKenna on the left side. Takes it into the lane, turns around, puts a shot up, partially blocked. Ball chased down by Campbell-Sell, and she gets it off to Tum. Tum over to the right side, gets it to Doherty. Back out high to Martin. Martin to Hoyer, then into the lane to Sell. Sell out to Martin, and the shot's up no good. And Nigaman with the rebound for the Vikings. Bovey with it over to Sierra Shipman. Back to Bovey. Thought about the three. Feeds it out to Sikora. Sikora on the right side gets it out to Sierra Shipman. Then over to McKenna. Three-pointer, and she hit it.
Yeah, good for McKenna to get in rhythm right now.
38-26, Vikings trailing by a dozen. Hoyer with it in the right corner. Drives towards the lane. Feeds it out into the left corner. Three-pointer on the way is no good. Rebound chased down by Nigaman. She gets it over to McKenna Shipman, who brings it across the timeline. Down to Sierra Shipman on the right side. Out to Bovey. High, wide, and right. Over to the left side to Nigaman. Takes it into the lane. Out to Bovey. Three-pointer on the way. No good. Rebound taken down by Sierra. Shot goes up by McKenna. No good. Nigaman with it. Nigaman tried to put it up again. She got fouled going up this time.
Yeah, let's see if they get 44. They don't.
Foul is on Gracie Martin. It's her first. Second team foul, but Autumn Nigaman goes to the line for two. First shot's off the back of the iron, no good. Goodell and J.C. Bovey in for the Vikings. Jordan Bovey and Sierra Shipman take a seat. Nigaman with her second shot. It's on the way, and it's no good. Down the floor come the Crickets. Over onto the left side, then they feed it down into the lane. Ball gets knocked loose, back out high to Hoyer. And they get it over to Sturz. Then to Hoyer on the left baseline. Drives the baseline. Ball gets knocked out of bounds. It'll still be Cricket's call.
Yeah, good job by Brent Score there. 44, Jasmine Hoyer wants to make that quick move to get to the paint, and she blocked it off.
Ball comes in on the right side to Sturz. They feed it down into the lane, and it gets tied up. J.C. Bovey tying it up, and possession arrow goes to the Crickets. 38-26, 11:32 to go. High pass comes out to Sturz. She takes it over to the left side, drives down the lane. It's up no good. Rebound taken down by Goodell. Goodell quickly down across the timeline. Takes it down the right side, then back out to Sikora. Puts up the three. No. Rebound taken down by Hoyer. Long lead pass to Sturz. Sturz gets it back out. This time it's to Haynes, and she hit the three.
Yeah, nobody picked up Eddie Haynes, left her alone.
41-26, Crickets on top. Shot goes up partially blocked, but the Vikings get it back. McKenna Shipman to J.C. Bovey, who puts it up and in. Out to the right side, driving in, putting the shot up, and it's good. That was Becca Sturz driving into the lane. 43-28, Vikings on top. And they're going to get Shipman with an illegal screen.
That'll be her third.
Her third personal. And Shipman in for Shipman. Sierra in for McKenna.
10:29 to go. Kennedy Tum on the dribble. Feeds it over to Hoyer on the left side. High, wide, and left. Over to the right side to Sturs. To the free throw line. To Schmigdahl. Over to Tum on the right side. Tum brings it over to the left side. To Schmigdahl at the top of the key. And we're going to get a foul called on Bryn Sikora. Climbing over the back trying to knock the ball away.
Yeah, all night Colfax has had a big task with Jasmine Hoyer. They just can't find a good matchup.
Inbounding the ball as Martin gets it out high. They get it over to Hoyer on the left side. Over to the right side, that's Haynes. Takes it to the free throw line. Gets it over to Martin. Martin over to the free throw line. Out to Hoyer, drives into the lane. Ball gets knocked away by the Vikings. By Sierra Shipman. Feeding it off. And Nigaman with a three-point attempt, no good. Rebound chased down by the Crickets. Hoyer with the ball, feeding it off to the right side. That Sturs, and try to feed it underneath. The Vikings come away with it. Goodell using some quickness into the lane, drives towards the lane and puts it up, and we get a whistle and a foul. I think it's going to be on Schmigdahl. It is. Sophie Schmigdahl.
Her first.
Shot goes up by Goodell, no good. Shipman back into the lineup, replacing Sikora.
Yeah, McKenna has to be careful. She's got 3 fouls. She's going to be out there.
Kaysen Goodell with her second shot. That one's good. 43-29. Crickets bring the ball down the floor. Vikings putting some pressure on, but taking it down through the pressure Sturs. Then they get the shot up. It's no good, but they chase down the rebound. Get it down into the corner. Shot by Schmigdahl. It's good for 3. Vikings have it. Long shot by Sierra Shipman's no good. McKenna Shipman gets the rebound. Puts the shot up, got fouled. She's going to go to the line for 2, and I think it's going to be on Schmigdahl.
Quick 2 fouls for her.
That's the 4th foul on the Crickets. McKenna Shipman to the line. First shot is up, and it's good. She got a little shooter's roll that time. Second shot on the way. That one's good. Nothing but net that time.
Yeah, Colfax is going to get back in this. McKenna's going to have to kind of take control right now.
Shot goes up and getting fouled. The shot was put up by Campbell Sell, and she got fouled by Nigaman. Actually, it was probably a pretty good foul by Nigaman because she was wide open.
Yeah, Colfax is having trouble getting back on defense.
Shot is up as no good by Campbell Sell. Sikora and Keltner into the lineup for the Vikings for Bovey and Nigaman. Second shot is up, it's good. 47-31, Vikings trailing by 16. Goodell with the ball, near the top of the key, gets it over to the left side to Sierra Shipman, to Sikora, high, wide, and left. Hitting it into the lane to McKenna Shipman, who puts it up and in.
Yeah, good backer cut by McKenna.
Crickets with the ball. Schmigdahl has it on the left side. Then they feed it back over to Martin. Now out high to Sturs. Sturs out to Sell, who puts it up and in.
7 points for Campbell Sell.
And down the floor come the Vikings with Goodell on the dribble. Feeds it over to Sikora, but it was a little wide, and the Crickets come away with it. Sell feeds it down underneath. Shot goes up, no good by Stirs. Coming away with it are the Vikings.
They hustle, they got numbers.
Goodell takes it into the lane, feeds it out to Sikora. Sikora gets triple teamed in the lane, gets it out to Shipman, puts up the three off the back there, no good. Crickets with the ball. Sell gets it over to Stirs. Stirs feeds it over to the right side to Schmigall, to Martin. And out to Addie Haynes, who puts up the three. 49-33. Sikora has it down in the corner, and the ball gets knocked loose and down the floor. Come the Crickets, and Campbell Sell lays it up and in. And we get a timeout on the floor. With the timeout on the floor, 6:50 remaining in the game. It's Fall Creek 54, Vikings 33. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining?
Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Doctors Austin and Nikki Pritchard and their staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
Let Menominee Eye and Optical help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comroe provide both comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract and LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eye care for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, located at 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality, personalized care for you and your family.
Vikings inbound the ball, bring it down the floor. Goodell with it. Feeds it across court, and Jordan Bovey couldn't hang on to it. Over to the left side, the Crickets have it. They put the shot up, it's no good. Rebound taken down by Shipman. She comes down the floor, takes it toward the lane, feeds it back out to Keltner. Little sloppy ball handling by the Vikings, and the ball is loose on the floor. Crickets pick it up. Down the floor, they get it to Haynes on the left side. Get it back out high to Martin. Then over to the far side to Doherty. And we're going to get a whistle and a foul being called. Foul is called on Bryn Sikora. That's her sixth foul on the Vikings. Crickets will be in the bonus from this point on. Tum gets it in. They swing it around to the left side, now back out to the top of the key to Tum. Over to Doherty on the right side. To Hoyer. And then back over to Haynes. Puts a shot up from the lane, no good. Rebound tipped around, chased down by Hoyer. And they're going to get her with a travel. She took a step before she put the ball on the floor. And down the floor come the Vikings. Over to the left side, and the pass gets intercepted by the Crickets. This is Tum on the dribble between the circles for the Fall Creek Crickets. 54-33, they're up by 21. Hoyer with it on the baseline. Feeds it back out. Three-pointer goes in by Anna Doherty. 57-33. Crickets on top. Vikings take it into the lane. Goodell puts it up. She got fouled on the way up. Foul is going to be on Tum, I believe, Kennedy Tum. That's the 5th foul on the Crickets. And that's the 3rd foul on Tum. Free throw on the way. It's good by Kaysen Goodell. Under 5 minutes to go. Second shot is on its way. That one's good. Down the floor come the Crickets. This is Tum with the ball. She feeds it over to Haynes. Haynes down the baseline. Gets it back out to Grossinger. Grossinger out to the top of the key. Then over to Tum and then over to Hoyer with a three-pointer. She hit it. Jasmine Hoyer with the three-pointer.
Yeah, tough decision for Sikora. Either let her go by or give her the three. She gave her the three and she made it.
Jordan Bovey puts up a three. It's no good. Hoyer with the rebound, and down the floor she comes. Pulls up the dribble, feeds it over to the right side. Three-pointer on the way by the Crickets, no good. That was by Doherty. They get the chase down the rebound, and the putback shot is up and in by Grossinger. Goodell with it. Gets it out to Shipman. This is McKenna with a three. Off the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by the Crickets. Down the floor they come quickly. Feed it down underneath. The shot is up and good by Grossinger. And the Vikings are losing track of people. 64-35. Shipman takes it into the lane, puts it up, got fouled on the way in. I think it's going to be on Grossinger. Nope, it's not. It's on Kennedy Tum.
Her fourth.
And the first shot is up. It's good. So Adele Kaufman, Avery Barca, and somebody else. And now they have Emily Sorensen into the lineup. Oh, Raffensperger came in. Shot goes up, it's no good. Rebound taken down by the Crickets. They feed it over to Grossinger, brings it down the floor. And she took an extra step. Sierra Shipman into the lineup for McKenna Shipman. And Clara Hajdukovic to come in. She's replacing Keltner.
Yeah, this will give them a little height.
Bovey with it. Gets it over to Sierra Shipman. Back to Bovey. Over to J.C. Bovey. Back out high to Sierra. Sierra tries to feed it underneath to Clara Hajdukovic. Then out to Jordan Bovey. Pass out to Sierra Shipman. And she feeds it off to Jordan Bovey. Tries to feed it into Clara. Picked up by the Vikings. Sierra Shipman with a three. It's no good. And coming down with it is Carolyn Grossinger. Grossinger feeds it off to the left side. Now back out high. That's Raffensperger. Raffensperger to Kaufman. Kaufman feeds it over to the right side. This is Sorensen.
Yeah, they can just run some clock right now.
To Raffensperger on the left side. Ball gets tipped out of bounds by Autumn Nigaman. So the Crickets will have it. 64-36. Pass comes out high and then over to the left corner, and the Vikings tip the ball loose and come away with it. Sierra Shipman with it, feeding it over to J.C. Bovey. To Nigaman. Tries to feed it into Clara Hajdukovic. And the ball got knocked loose. And coming down the floor is Adele Kaufman. Kaufman gets it over to Raffensperger. Raffensperger into Grossinger, then they get it out. Shot goes up, no good. And we're going to get a jump ball called. Vikings have the possession arrow. Sierra Shipman gets it into Jordan Bovey. Across the timeline. Minute and a half to go. Jordan on the dribble over to the left side to J.C. Bovey. J.C. feeds it to Sierra, lays it up and in.
Basket by Sierra Shipman, the assist from J.C. Bovey.
Down the floor comes Sorensen. She feeds it out between the circles to Kaufman. Kaufman over to the right side to Grossinger. Grossinger down the right baseline. Kicks it back out to Raffensperger, and shot goes up, no good. Rebound taken down by Sierra Shipman. Shipman over to Jordan Bovey to J.C. Bovey. J.C. Bovey changes direction, spins, gets it out to Nigaman. Nigaman drives into the lane, puts the shot up a little hard, no good. Rebound taken down by the Crickets. Kaufman on the dribble.
Yeah, let's see if they just hold.
About 30 seconds to go. We're going to get a whistle and a foul on Nigaman. Oh, check that. Foul's not on Nigaman.
Huh.
He signaled 44. We don't have a... Oh, we do, too. It's Clara Shipman. Or Clara Hajdukovic. .4 seconds to go. Raffensperger at the line. Free throws up, no good. Rebound chased down by the Vikings. Jordan Bovey across the timeline. Feeds it down underneath to Clara. Puts it up. She put it in. Clara Hajdukovic with the 2. Crickets have the ball. Feed it across court. This one I don't have the name for, nor this one. They've got some people in there we don't have names for, but it doesn't matter because there's the buzzer and the final score. The Crickets defeat the Vikings 64-40. And we will have a wrap-up of this one right after this timeout. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Give yourself a little love this Valentine's Day. Open a health savings account or HSA to save tax-free dollars for out-of-pocket medical costs. Eyeglasses, braces, and acupuncture are just a few items allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. Pay by check or with a debit card and access your account through online or mobile banking. Give us a call to learn more. Dairy State Bank. Banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
If you've been admiring the freshly groomed look of a baseball field, or the stunning appearance of a golf course, remember you too can have a lawn with the same beauty by simply calling Midwest Environmental Consultants. Their professional lawn care experts can bring your lawn to its full beauty and appearance. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your lawn the showplace of the neighborhood.
flashlights.
What's up, champ?
Flashlights, come here.
I feel like you get taller every time I see you. Congratulations, Brandon.
Thank you.
You have been tuned to Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. This copyrighted production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and Colfax High School is intended for the enjoyment of the viewing and listening audience. Any broadcast, rebroadcast, or reproduction without the express written consent of the Northern Light Webcasting Network LLC and Colfax High School is prohibited. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Post Game.
Is that time yet?
It's time.
Mom's starting time for dinner.
Oh, terrific.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Time now for Viking Postgame, with a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Girls game. And now, Viking Postgame.
Back here at Fall Creek High School, Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow. Ann Monroe has been on the camera tonight. And the Vikings drop one tonight to the Fall Creek Crickets, 64-20. And basically what we can hope is a learning experience for the Vikings about the kind of ball they're going to have to play if they want to make any kind of run in the upcoming tournaments.
Yeah, that's about it. You know, you got to bring your A game when you're playing, what are they, three-loss team, and Fall Creek has it together right now.
It's a little different style than they see in the Dunn St. Croix, as you had mentioned earlier, and I agree with you on that. The Vikings got caught flat-footed a few times, didn't get back on defense, lost players heading down the floor. Fall Creek just basically out-hustled them on transition, out-hustled them on the boards. Fall Creek was more physical, and when the Vikings started to try to get physical, they were doing it from out of position, which led to fouls instead of the productive being physical that you want to be.
Yeah, Colfax hung with them in the first half. They weren't leading, but they were right there, and then Fall Creek, they would send a girl down ahead, out in transition, get quick points, and Colfax just didn't get back fast enough.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll let you get all your numbers totaled up. We'll take this real quick time out, and then we'll be back with all the numbers of tonight's game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV is excited to once again be your host for Colfax High School Girls Basketball throughout the 2023 through 2024 season. Our next game will be on Thursday, February 15th, when the Vikings will host the Mondovi Buffaloes. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-TV begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV on Thursday, February 15th.
And we're back here at Fall Creek High School. Dan, why don't you give us the numbers on tonight's game?
Here's scores for Fall Creek tonight. Gracie Martin had 8. Elena Rossberger has 2. Caroline Grossberger had 6. Campbell Saw had 9. Jasmine Hoyer had 11. Sophie Schmignall had 7. Elena Doherty had 11. We had Gracie Tom with 2. We had Eddie Haynes with 6, and Becca Stirs with 2. For the Colfax Vikings, their leading scorer was McKenna Shipman. She had 14 points. We had...
That's, by the way, her season average, so that's pretty close.
Yeah, I'll hold on a second.
And we're trying to get the microphone because we have Coach Serrar here. And, Coach, hopefully we can call that a learning experience for your girls.
Yeah, you know, I was not impressed with us whatsoever. I thought that we were it didn't seem like we came ready to play whatsoever. We consistently got beat up and down the floor. It seemed like there were multiple possessions where we didn't know who we had, and we played them tough for a while, and credit to them, they made shots and we definitely did not. But yeah, I was just not impressed with our just overall grit, our energy. We just really looked flat, and we didn't come ready to play, and you can't do that against a good team.
It's kind of, Dan had made a comment during the game that this is a style of play that's a little different than what you see in the Dunn St. Croix. Most teams in the Dunn St. Croix seem to like to run that half-court offense, and you guys were starting to make some noise in the conference with your transition game. And then, but tonight, Fall Creek took the transition game right to you.
Yeah, and we just looked scared for some reason. I mean, I'm not sure if it was, just, a Monday or whatever, but I'm hoping that's what it was, because, if we come out and play like that, we're going to lose a couple more games for sure. So I'm hoping they figure it out. They're, good, hardworking kids, and I'm hoping it was just an off night.
And you were missing a couple of starters tonight, and so hopefully that was part of it. But somehow, I think even if Jada and Jeanette would have been in the ball game tonight, the end result may not have been as much of a difference as it was, but it likely still would have come out the same.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're without two of your starters, it's definitely going to be a different dynamic, I think, for sure. So it just seemed like, we just looked tired, though, and I'm not sure why. So I'm chalking it up to Monday,
and we don't hangover.
Yeah, Monday, and we don't usually play on Mondays, and but credit to Fall Creek, they're a good team, and you can see why they're atop of the Clover Belt, and we'll be back, So I hope, and I know the other thing is they definitely didn't learn anything about us tonight, so that's good. Maybe we were just holding back on the throttle because we want to come back here and play, so we hope to see them again.
Now coming up on. Now, I get my days mixed up at this time of the season. Is it Thursday or Friday that you guys are playing Mondovi? Thursday, okay. We'll be there. That's at friendly confines. You'll be at home. It's a team you're a little more familiar with. Tell us what you're looking for in that one.
Yeah, it's senior night, so we're hoping everybody can come out and support our, 5 great seniors, and they're, unfortunately their last chance to, put on their uniform at home and play in front of their home crowd, and but it should be a fun night. So.
Well, I wish it were a happier ending tonight, but thank you for coming to join us as you have all season long, and good luck on Thursday night. And Dan, we'll get the rest of those scores right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2 are excited to once again be your host for Colfax High School boys basketball throughout the 2023 through 2024 season.
This is what we came in for.
Our next game will be on Tuesday, February 13th, when the Vikings will host the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-2 begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking boys basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2 on Tuesday, February 13th.
And we're back here at Fall Creek High School. Vikings fall to the Cricket 64-40. And Dan, while we were away for that ad, I just wanted to find out from you how many Crickets scored in that game. You said there were 10, and then I looked at the Vikings scoring page. We had 9, and that's about all we had suited up tonight. And so they didn't put in the points they wanted to, but they at least spread it around.
Yeah, you just got to get out, and I think it was a little lack of defense by Colfax tonight, and if you don't get back in transition, like Coach said, they lost some players in that transition, and Fall Creek got some easy shots, and if that happens, the score can get rung up pretty fast.
Well, why don't you give us those? We had started the Vikings scoring, and let's run through that again.
Yeah, here's the scores for the Vikings tonight. They're led by McKenna Shipman. She had 14 points. Then we had Meadow Keltner with 2. Autumn Niggeman had 3. Jordan Bovey had 5. Sierra Shipman had 5. Brent Sikora had 2. We had Kason Goodell with 5. Jason Bovey had 2. And Claire Hajdukovic had 2.
And we did mention that McKenna Shipman's scoring is pretty close to her season average. And if she hadn't been in foul trouble early in the first half, I should say, early in the first half, who knows how this may have turned out when it was all said and done. But we do have more basketball coming your way. Tomorrow night, we're going to be at Colfax with the boys taking on the Elmwood Plum City Wolves on NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Yeah, they have a little redemption this week.
Oh boy, do they! They got a little payback to get. That game over in Plum City, the Vikings kind of walked into that one thinking they were going to come out winners, and they kind of got it handed to them. And I know they're looking for a little payback on that one. And then on Thursday on NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network, we have the Viking girls taking on the Mondovi Buffaloes. Both those games, Viking pregame starts at right around 6:40 p.m. with live play-by-play right after it. Boys on NLWN-TV tomorrow night, girls on NLWN-TV on Thursday. Also, don't forget, if you didn't get there today, parent-teacher conferences are this week, and they are Thursday of this week, so just in time before the Viking girls game on Thursday night, stop in and see your child's teacher and be part of your child's education process. This reminder that tonight's Colfax Viking basketball game has been brought to you by Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Colfax Animal Hospital. Let the friendly staff at Colfax Animal Hospital take care of your pet. Menominee Eye and Optical. Midwest Environmental Consultants. C&T Construction. Anderson Bridges. Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax, where they have comfort food the way Mom used to make it. And Slayton's Technology, the official IT experts of the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Make sure you thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking basketball as they have done all season long. So for Ann Monroe on the camera, Dan Petchow, this is Rick Olson. That final score once again, Fall Creek Crickets 64, Vikings 40. You've been tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Girls game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.